Hi, going to talk about another weather memory, the 1997 Christmas Eve storm, which was very severe across the southern half of the country. And it's kind of a bit of irony this evening in talking about it, as the 1997 Christmas Eve storm was one that wasn't predicted too far in advance. It was only really in the last 6 to 9 hours early Christmas Eve morning that the storm kind of came onto the radar and was deepening rapidly, and it became apparent that it was going to be destructive. And this evening is the 12th of November, 2023, and the fourth named storm of 2023-2024, Debbie, um, is about to arrive overnight. And again, 2 to 3 days ago, there wasn't really much seen in the forecast. A lot of the models only started picking up on it in the last day or so, that there could be a severe wind event early Monday. Some of them, including the GFS model, has only come on board with a storm really this 6 hours ago, kind of at its midday runs. So, yeah, there are parallels between the Christmas Eve storm and what's about to arrive tomorrow. Tomorrow's storm, Debbie, at the moment now it's 8 p.m. here, the evening of the 12th of November. There's five counties in a red warning, 19 in an orange warning zone, and there could be updates and there could be downgrades as well, hopefully. There's still some leaves on trees and that, and ground is saturated, so there could be damage tomorrow. But on to Christmas Eve 1997, and it hit the southern half of the country the hardest. Now, there were strong winds in the northern half as well, but it was the following year, at the other side of Christmas Day, St. Stephen's Day, that there was a storm in 1998, and it hit the northern half of the country much harder than the southern half. But yeah, the Christmas Eve 1997 storm over the southern half of the country, excuse me, it was on a par with the January 1974 storms. And there were a couple of very severe storms that month. And again, another little bit of irony, and Hurricane Debbie, which hit the country in September 1961 and holds the highest wind gust over Ireland. That particular storm, that had a lot of devastation given the time of the year it hit and that. But um, Christmas Eve storm 1997 is on a par with those storms, the 74 storms and Debbie across the southern half of the country. 101 mile per hour gust was recorded in 1997, and it equaled the record gust in Valencia. That gust was recorded in Valencia and equaled its all-time highest gust. And the 10-minute wind speed averages were the highest in 55 years of recording, since recording started at that time in Valencia. Shannon Airport had a highest gust of 95 miles per hour. It was its highest gust since Debbie in 1961. And getting closer to my own home, just this a nice little comparison here. Kilkenny, 75 knots wind gust was recorded. That's 86 miles per hour, 139 kilometres per hour. And it was the windiest I ever remembered at home. Um, just to give a little comparison with that 139 kilometre gust, Christmas Eve 1997 in Kilkenny, Oak Park Station recorded a gust of 126 kilometres per hour on the 12th of February 2014 during Storm Darwin. Storm Darwin really hit the centre of the country very badly and into the southeast and that. And I remember around the Portlaoise area there was a huge tree fell on the block road, and a family made a lucky escape and that. But 1997 was 13 kilometres higher gust in Kilkenny than was recorded in Oak Park during Darwin, February 2014. What also made the 1997 Christmas Eve storm unusual was its timing, and People were traveling home from Christmas driving. Um, like the peak winds, it kind of started to kick in around 2 p.m. And by 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. was when it was really at its peak across my area of the country. That should be the South Midlands, we'll say, the Inishcarlow, Kilkenny border, all that area. Um, it peaked a little earlier naturally in Cork and Kerry and that, and then later again in towards Kildare, Dublin. Electricity outages were widespread, and on Christmas Day, like you still had 135,000 homes without electricity, which is not too ideal for Santa Claus or for cooking or for all the things you want to do on Christmas Day. So at home, we lost electricity around 7 p.m., but luckily for us, it returned around 10 p.m. And often, like back in the thunderstorms in 1985, we had 4 days without electricity. Usually, we're longer hit during Ophelia in my home place in Laois in the Carlow Kilkenny border. Um, the storm came early in the week. I think it was on Monday, but we were without power for um, 4 or 5 days of that week. 5 days, I think. So we're lucky this time that just 3 hours of an outage. And one personal memory I have of the storm is we had an Irish draft mare that had to be just be let out in the day a bit, and she used to eat a bit of hay in the fields and that kind of around that time of the year. But she'd be brought in the evening, and she was always nervous getting her into a stable. But she was particularly it took a long time to stable her that day, and eventually got her in. But yeah, just the ferocity of it. It was the wind was blowing me, and I'd be 14, 15 stone. It was blowing me around, and I really it was duskish. I remember ringing her in. It was as windy as I ever remember weather being out in. The storm had two deaths in Cork and in Kerry, one each. I think a wall caved in on a man in Kerry, and I think a man in Cork was trying to clear trees and had a heart attack and that, so had fatalities. Um, just to conclude on it, it's a memorable storm for a few reasons. Firstly, is it kind of came up out of the blue, a little bit like this Debbie we're predicted to have tomorrow, and obviously the wind strengths equaling 74 and Star and Hurricane Debbie in September 61, and Christmas Eve, of course, is always going to be memorable when it hit then as well. Um, and then the unusualness of those 2 years, you kind of link them together, 97 and 98. 98 was a really big storm across the northern half of the country on St. Stephen's Day, the other side of Christmas. So that's my chat on the Christmas Eve storm of 1997 in Ireland. Thank you.